Uh, Sorry, I had brain fart for a second. Still a little bit tired. We're gonna react to the video again, and let's go. Okay. I was at 47. I believe.
Okay, we're here.
Yes.
I'll actually go check my last stream. I don't know why it does this sometimes. It just decides to say fuck it. Okay. Oh, my voice sucks. You sound... Fuck! I should move my camera.
A more important thing. Don't you have my...
Yeah, right about there. Okay. I picked the right spot. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Engage.
Acting like a trashy sensationalist tabloid. If this is the red pill standard for ladylike behaviour, I am very happy to have nothing to do with it. This is classless. You can wear all the feminine outfits you want, love, but if this is how you behave, trashy is still trashy.
Yeah.
A string of pearls does not a lady make.
I'm the most empathetic to men's issues. I'm so empathetic.
Again, we already covered this, so she clearly isn't. See my last video.
Guys, shall I sign up for wife school? Do you think they teach me how to be sweet and feminine? Less talking, Galatea. Keep your mouth shut. Don't talk back. Will I get taught how to be respectful to men in wife school? Oi, you girl.
Well, for one, you don't give out respect. Respect is earned, right? You know? So everyone is given, let's say everyone's at a certain level of respect, right? The more you go up as I deem you worthy of my respect, No, I think I'd go the other way. I think, yeah, respect is earned. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I think that one works.
You stop with that back talk. You stop with that. Keep your mouth shut. You've upset Rolo. You've hurt his feelings. That's not very respectable. The man won't like you. They won't like you. You've been disrespecting all these men on the internet. And that is not what a good wife is and does. That's really bad. They'll tell me that no one wants a wife like that. If I go to wife school, will I get showed how the best way to be a good wife is? Lesson number 1, wear pearls. Then everyone will think you are a lady, even if you are a tacky bitch. How would you be nice to me if I did wife school?
I would like the Authentic Observer and Pearly Things to have a conversation. I think you should do it. I would like to know your name, Authentic, because YouTube name is kind of long. How about The Observer? That's better.
Would I get bullied? I'll probably get bullied at your school, pal. I'll probably have no friends.
One of these days I should, I would be curious on looking at it. That'd be interesting. What could be in it? Well, obviously submitting to men, because that's what Pearl says. And then getting your own back, maybe some type of hating other women, because I feel like Pearl hates women, you know? Although you never know, because Pearl is incredibly contradictory. She does whatever she wants to do and says whatever she wants to say. It would be funny to see it.
Lesson 2. Dab on these hoes. This is a mating ritual that will impress the males, and they will congregate around you, and then you can select a husband. Dab to just get you going. Is this your thing? I bet it is. Do you guys think at a wife school they have lessons on how to make a man happy?
You do see those weird, like, not to get off topic, you see those, like, couple, like, stretching. They might not be couples. They're, yeah, they might, yeah, they're couples. Couples, like, yoga classes where they're, like, just incredibly sexual positions. It's kind of funny. Maybe that's the purpose, you know, to bond with your lover, you know? But it's kind of funny just seeing a whole, like, 20 people all doing, like, doing missionary with their clothes on, stretching them out. It's kind of funny. You should look them up. I don't actively look them up. It just, I see them on my feed on Instagram sometimes, and it's kind of funny.
Happy. If you know what I mean. That is an important part of being a wife, so I really hope that's included in the syllabus, Pearl. And we don't want Ofsted on our backs for not giving the girls a well-rounded education. Academic standards are really slipping these days.
Ugh.
We are going to go over common pieces of career advice that job seekers get.
Why do I have to talk about Randy Andy again?
So now we come to the man of the hour, self-proclaimed women's rights advocate and everyone's favourite piece of pond scum, our dear old pal Randy Andy. Also known as Mr. Plenty.
Big boss is Mr. Plenty.
How did I not know about Andrew Tate's rap video before now? How did I miss this? Why?
Yeah, he doesn't actively talk about it, but he's a pedophile now, you know? So that's kind of, you know, I could have. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, that's to be expected. You go from sex trafficking to pedophile. Not much. There's not that big of a leap, you know? I mean, I mean, you think about that. You look at the P. Diddy case, and apparently, they wanted to send the P. Diddy and the cartels were, P. Diddy wanted the cartel to bring a bunch of children to his house to, like, obviously do things with. And then I don't know if this is completely true. I heard it, but apparently the cartels wouldn't do it. You know, even the cartels are quote unquote better than you know, P. Diddy and Andrew Tate, you know? The world is crazy, you know?
Have I only now learnt of its existence? I mean, look, not
Maybe
to...
the cartel did children's stuff, and I just don't realize it. They just didn't want to do it that time. I don't know. I just like thinking about a gang, a really high profile gang that in Mexico that is better than, you know, American people, and, you know, cartels work in America. And on the other end, I really don't want it to be that bad. I don't know which one would
interfere
work,
with the
to be honest.
course of justice, but surely just that is enough to lock him up. Have you seen it? Your Honor, this man has just committed a horrible crime!
I was broke, did it dirty, no soap.
It's got to be breaking some kind of law.
When I'm on the road, stay in your lane.
It's the kind of thing it's got to do a horrible crime!
I was broke, did it dirty, no soap.
It's got to be breaking some.
Yeah, listen, I don't know how to rap, and that just did it dirty. No soap. On the road, stay in your lane. When I'm on the road, stay in your that just saying words. Rap, what? I seriously don't know what would you classify that?
Some kind
Obviously,
of law.
it's music.
When I'm on the road, stay in your lane.
It's the kind of thing that someone kind of law.
When I'm on the
I love
road,
the-
stay in your lane.
It's the kind of. It's got to be breaking some kind of law.
When I'm on the
Yeah.
road, stay in your lane.
It's.
No soap.
It's got to be breaking some kind of law.
When I'm on the road.
Andrew Tate talking about cars, and there's this guy in the background like, I'm an airplane. Whee! I wonder what he would told to do in when they were shooting it. He was just told, do random shit. I would like to be on the filming of this.
Road, stay in your lane.
It's the kind of thing that someone would make if their only exposure to music was via the Paul brothers. So it's good, is what I'm saying.
Kill the game.
I think Andrew Tate just, he likes himself a bit too much. That's obvious, but clearly thinks very highly of himself.
I don't want to hang
You
about.
want to come off as, the best, or everyone wants to come off as the best, but he actively pumps himself up to a degree that is entirely useless, and not benefit to him. And when stuff comes out that like, oh, he rented a yacht to make it seem like he owns a yacht, it just seems childish, and you're obviously trying to puff up your chest too hard.
Oh, how do people think he's an attractive manly man? He is cringe! He's like a vain.
I watched the Renaissance periodization videos of Mike Israel going. Sorry, I got sunburn. Mike Israel going over the workout videos with Andrew Tate, and it just a lot of the video is just him doing an awful exercise with very fast and just very poor technique, going, I'm stronger than you. I bet I'm stronger than you. You can't do this. And go watch it, but it's pretty funny. He clearly thinks he's better than he is, and watching him, you can learn that really fast. And I don't know how people took him as seriously as people did.
Preening peacock. I will
My friend did for a little while.
never understand the appeal. He's in his 30s and he made just this sort of weird rap video I'd expect a 12-year-old boy to make. He is an.
I suppose if you're as rich as he is, you can believe whatever you want about yourself because you can afford to,
Absolute goon. I just think this man is just a bit of a weirdo. I think he's a bit mentally stunted as a teenager, to be honest with you. I feel like this is my fault. Here's the thing. I said in my last video, one of the last videos, that I wasn't going to talk about him again. And then a couple of days later, he ended up in a Romanian jail. So I think I jinxed it. Turns out it wasn't Greta. It was me. Failed rap career aside, are there any other crimes that Tate is guilty of? So now the reason I'm talking about this is because this is more about some of the absolute insane reactions surrounding the Tate thing rather than Tate himself. However, let's just get
we're gonna go over the Candace Owens video. I watched the Candace Owens video. That the observer did, and it's really interesting.
Text. I'm working with the information I have at the time of filming, so if there's something new come out, I'm sorry, I'm not a time traveler. So, is it possible that Tate was set up by the powers that should not be because he was spitting so much truth and they paid girls off to lie about him, and these are all trumped up charges intended to shut him up because he was helping people wake up from the Matrix? Yes, it's possible. Is it also possible that Tate knew he'd committed some serious crimes, knew they were trying to nail him for it because it was a several months long investigation, and so in order to preempt it, started saying how the Matrix was coming for him, that they'd shut him up and lie about him, so that when he was inevitably arrested, he knew all his fans would never believe he was guilty and it would look like he'd predicted it, like Pearl said. Yes, of course, that is absolutely possible. It's not a prediction.
No, I don't hear a lot of people talking about. Oh, my guy Alistair Heckon. Go watch him. Go watch Alistair Heckon. He's a good YouTuber. And if you're watching my videos, you told me a little while back that you may have other people on doing your videos with you in the future. I still want to do that,
If you know you did something. This does not prove he is Neo, you weirdos. Is it even possible that the powers that should not be wanted to shut him up because he was spitting so much truth, and, helpfully for them, he also happened to be a genuine criminal, so they set him up as a useful idiot, allowed him to get to peak fame, and then arrested him because getting caught up in such a public scandal damages the reputation and credibility of genuine anti-establishment figures who blindly defended a genuine criminal who was loud and open about his behaviour for months? I mean, yeah, that's possible too. What do I think? I don't think it looks good for him. I'll be honest. In my opinion,
he's a pedophile now, or he always was, but now it's proven. Well, not proven. He went to jail.
Even if he's not guilty of every accusation, he is looking less and less like an innocent man. I wouldn't be surprised actually if he wasn't guilty of everything, but I would be very, very surprised if he wasn't guilty of one of the things. I also think some people just hear someone speaking about the global elites
and at that point, I don't know, if let's say I was attracted to children. If I was and as rich as Andrew Tate, I wouldn't do anything like that. I'd be like, okay, I don't know, I'd cut off my dick or something. Be like, I have all the money I need. I'm not gonna fuck it up. I don't know, like people like Harvey Weinstein or like all these people working at Nickelodeon. I don't know. If I get to a certain amount of money, I'm even if I was like mentally fucked up like that, I would make sure I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize, me making all this money, living my best life, It's stupid. Maybe they think that they can just get away with it.
Far too quick to rush in blindly to defend and cross the road without looking both ways. Abbott and Preach made a really, really good video going over what he's accused of and the evidence. I will play parts of it in this video and link it down below. I really recommend you check it out. I've been really impressed with how Abbott and Preach have covered this. They now number among some of the content creators that I respect the most highly on YouTube. They've defended Tate in the past. They didn't blindly condemn him when others blindly condemned him. And now they're not blindly defending him either. They waited for evidence before giving their opinion, have presented it fairly, I think, and they've consistently demonstrated a huge amount of integrity in how they report on things and conduct themselves. So I think they deserve massive credit for that. So to briefly explain, from what I understand, Tate is accused of fraud and deceit and sex trafficking women. He's also accused of coercing and forcing them into it and not allowing them to leave and stealing their money. And
well, when you agree with people when you say stuff like, when you're having sex with a woman, they're at the most vulnerable, or I don't remember if he said it or if he agreed with it. He definitely agreed with it. I don't know if he said it, but if you agree / say, having sex with women is when they're at the most programmable. That's what he said, at the most programmable, and that's when you can fuck them different to control them or all this other stuff. what are you gonna make people think? I don't know if I were doing if let's just say he was guilty. I don't know. I don't remember what ever came of it, but let's say he was guilty of everything he did. I would keep all hush hush. I wouldn't talk about it. Talk about any of it.
And threatening them. I also understand there are accusations of violence and, I don't think I can say this word, forced violation, the R word. I will play clips of Abbott and Preach throughout this because they explain it very well.
Listen, they didn't prosecute Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate prosecuted Andrew Tate. My homie was self-snitching.
Trafficking, we have...
That's... See?
3 things. Force, fraud, or coercion. Force, obviously, that's like being in chains. And
I just discovered the channel a little while ago. This guy is cool. Abbott and Preach. This guy is really cool. He looks like a stuffy old lawyer, but he is really cool.
Not being allowed to leave. Fraud, being kept there under false pretenses. If there's an element of fraud in the way that you are enticing somebody or keeping somebody in a particular position to work for you, and if it's in the sex business, that's sex trafficking or coercion. Let's kind of look at one of his very first videos that he did. These are his words, not my words.
When you say webcam company, people assume, oh, it's just a sex fest. But in reality, it's a shitload of people management. The HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing. You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you. Your goal is to inspire.
Did he think he just couldn't get away with it? Did he think he was untouchable? I mean, what?
Girl to make money. So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence, and you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her.
I mean, this is clearly isn't evidence. Just talking about how you do it isn't proof that he did it, but it doesn't look good. It will get people looking at you.
Believing she needs you. And this is extremely important because at the beginning, she will need you, but then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive.
Fallacy, that's his word. And what is fallacy? Fraud.
That's a pimp. That's exactly what a pimp does.
Of course, we already have Myron predictably throwing tantrums on his show and saying he'll always stand by Tate because they're friends and he knows Tate was framed and all the girls must have been paid off to lie about Tate.
See, why would you want someone like that defending you? You would want, obviously, if you're guilty of it, you would want someone like that defending you. But you want many people to defend you as possible, right? But as a friend, I don't even think they're friends. I think that just please like me. I got you. Don't worry. I'll defend you. I think that's very, very please don't cut me off. Please don't cut me off. I think that's very that kind of energy. But as Andrew Tate, why would you want someone like that? That feels I wouldn't want someone like that. Someone that's a yes man. I wouldn't want a yes man. I don't like yes men. I like someone to tell me when I'm doing shit wrong.
But my question
I feel like people more and more are trying to save people's feelings, and it's not helpful.
B. Myron, love, did they also pay off Tate to lie about Tate? Because that's a rather big fly in the ointment.
Actually, how do I sign that?
So by you typing for the girl, you maximize your money, and also she believes she needs you, which is extremely important. Another reason you use Chaturbate is because they will pay you in Bitcoin. And this is amazing because you've all seen the thought audit shit that's going on. You've all seen the fucking legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult.
See, it's that whole avoiding taxes. And it's not legal to do that.
So in the last 6 months, Chariot have released the Bitcoin options. They'll pay Bitcoin.
Again, people, this isn't illegal to talk about it, but it's definitely going to have people looking at you sideways. You know? Again, don't talk about it. Don't mention it. If people bring it up, don't give it energy, you know? You're going to have less people on you, you know?
Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. Another important element for controlling your woman.
See, that also controlling your women. That is, I think that's a mindset word. You know, I think that will also make people look at you because, you know, maybe he just thought about that word and didn't think too much into it. But I would like to think if someone was doing that, that's very, you think about them as objects, you know, you think of your women, you know, they're just things I used to make money, you know, and that's how somebody would think if they were doing this.
You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. Tell your girl that you're paying the tax because girls are lazy and girls are stupid and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll sit there and go, okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One, it's another control element. I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It allows you to pay her a smaller percentage.
That's why everyone should just learn taxes, you know, so you don't get fucked over by people, you know, in general.
So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I give them 3, and I keep 7. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, we get to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50. So really you're paying 30, you tell them you're paying 50, difference is in the tax. That's where the disparity lies, taxes. If they don't believe you, they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. I do this all the time. I just print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here and sign this. What is it? So print out some tax forms. I do this all the time. I just print out some random tax forms and say, yeah.
See, he's snitching on. See, he even says he's doing it.
Sign here and sign this. What is it? So the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Ooh, okay. And they just sign away. They don't know what fucking signing. Let's throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real is happening. Nothing's happening except me get rich, bitch.
So we started. All right, he's already admitted to tax evasion and fraud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a.
What is it? So the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? I do this all the time. I just print out some random tax forms.
He just admitted to it. He probably didn't even think about it that he admitted to it, or he thought in his mind they could get away with it.
Sign here and sign this. What is it? So the tax. You want to pay the tax or not? Ooh, okay. And they just sign away. They don't know what fucking signing. Let's throw them away afterwards. But they think something's happening. Something real is happening. Nothing's happening except me get rich, bitch.
So we started. All right, he's already admitted to tax evasion and fraud.
I mean, it's not a mission.
This is a course he's running. He's teaching people.
That's what he's teaching. He doesn't mean he's doing that now. I'm just playing devil's. It's a very hard job. I'm not.
He said that's what he was doing with these girls. That's what he said he was doing.
Yeah.
He said he was doing, and then he said he used to do it all the time. That's just what he said. He said it once, then he said it again.
The women saying he did this to us.
Oh.
Even if no women came out and said anything about it, he admitted to doing it. So,
what, you think they're going to look at the bank records and see that the money, he was paying them 50-50? What you think? Let's be honest. If someone admits to what they're doing, just believe them.
But to his defense, I got nothing.
I just want you guys to understand, like, just here, we're not even going to the human track, just right there. This man was stealing from the people that were working for him.
It's right there.
He didn't even care. He said, I'm getting rich, bitch. Fuck you. He didn't care. He was stealing from it. If that's your job, how would you feel about that? Would you not want this person to charge for that crime?
Yeah, this video of Andrew Tate talking about all of the things. Yeah, this is the most damning thing I've seen. And I'm not even sure the most hard.
I would like to know what's going through his mind in that moment. I would like to know what he's thinking, you know? When he's saying this stuff, before he made the video. You know, it'd be so interesting. You know?
Hardcore Tate fanboy can justify that, though by God they're trying. It would be far easier to believe that Tate didn't do nothing and is a good boy who got framed by fake evidence if part of the evidence wasn't a video of him telling on himself.
I'm all over the place. So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants.
See? That's, what's it called? Entrapment. No, kidnapping.
No clubs, nothing.
Basically, the judge's like, nah, the way you act in real life is how you're talking about these videos. So I'm not going to not use them as evidence. I cannot use them as evidence because they match.
Tell you what, if this is a conspiracy and Tate was framed by the Matrix, he must have been in on it because wow, did he make it easy for them to set him up for sex trafficking. They really couldn't have done it without his level of dedication and cooperation.
Do you think he would just, such a big ego, they thought he could just say this shit and get away with it? You know?
Okay, so when we come right down to it, are there things that point to Tate being guilty? Absolutely yes. Is it possible he's innocent? I mean, I'd never describe him as innocent, but innocent of any illegal activity? Yeah, it's possible. Very unlikely at this point just because of all the tax stuff, but sure, it's possible he's innocent of all criminal activity. Would I be shocked if it turned out that the man who's been going around saying women are property turned out to have literally treated women like property? Not really. As for the R-word allegations, the grape allegations, I mean, at this point, we don't know. There are those voice recordings. I mean, they don't make him look exactly innocent. But as people say, we don't know the context. I would say, at the very least, he sounds like a dick. First impression is, even if they're messing around, it sounds like there was something that upset her and he's dismissing it and trying to manipulate her into feeling bad about being upset about it. But again, we don't know, and we can't know, and we don't know what she said, and maybe it was all part of their kinky game. In terms of if the Matrix is framing him for grape, the story one girl told where she says she stayed in a relationship with him for months after a forced violation, I feel like if Tate was being framed, they would make up a more black and white scenario. And also, aren't there police reports from the time? So just on that, like, it doesn't seem to be her just crawling out of the woodwork.
And I don't know if it's a true bite. Can't you get away with more in Romania, or Romania had different laws concerning men and women? So that's why he likes Romania or so much or something like that.
He's now famous. So I know everyone is immediately well, no, I don't know about everyone, not everyone, but like a lot of Tate fans I've seen immediately dismissing this girl because she stayed with him. So it's a lie.
For one, again, I know somebody that was abused by an older person, and the Stockholm syndrome, and you remember the good times. You think things are going to get better, or all this stuff, you know? It's not just, oh, you were mean to me, so I leave. There's a lot more psychological things going on.
And I can't speak to her story because, yeah, she could be lying. I don't know. However, I'd want to address that thing because this is a common thing, and it doesn't on its own make her story unbelievable. Hearing what she had to say, I can understand why she didn't leave. It makes absolute sense to me. A common factor in trauma is confusion and sometimes reliving that trauma so you can reclaim power over it. You don't want it to be true that that is what happened to you. You don't want to acknowledge the reality that you could be that powerless or that vulnerable. So you lie to yourself and you stay to try to heal the current situation, as if by doing that you could rewrite the past and make it so it never happened. It's a defense mechanism to protect your mind. What she said actually is consistent with sexual trauma or trauma in a relationship. So no, we can't dismiss it on the grounds that she didn't immediately leave, so therefore must just not have minded. Some people are remarkably ignorant about what trauma can do to a person. Look, that is not the same as a girl sleeping with someone, regretting it, and then crying grape afterwards. Those are two very different situations. And yet, that might have been what happened. That might have been the case with her. We don't know. But I'm just saying, those are two very different. If you take Howard, they're two very different situations, and people are conflating them because they're so anti the Me Too movement. They're unwilling to consider the nuances in real instances of assault. It's
That
not always-
might be why Andrew Tate became so popular so fast. He just came out of the woodwork, because of the Me Too stuff. You know, people wanted to believe him. It's not revolutionary stuff, but that's why he became so popular. At least
always at knife point from a stranger, and going back to the person doesn't mean it's all okay and you weren't affected by it. Yes, it would be better if women immediately went and reported an assault. Yes, that's the best case scenario. Yes, it would make justice far easier if a woman did that. But it's hard to do with someone you know. Reporting it, I would guess, is probably easier with a stranger. But someone you're in a relationship with? The trauma creates confusion. You don't know if what happened really happened. Your mind is breaking down, trying to reconcile who you thought that person was with what they did, and the contradiction makes you feel insane and has you questioning your own interpretation of reality. How could they be that and do this? Maybe I'm going crazy and imagined it all. It can't have happened. And on top of that, you don't want to betray someone you have feelings for. Of course, you would want to be absolutely certain and clear thinking before you betrayed someone you cared about. And the point is, in that moment, you aren't clear thinking. Not at all. And it probably feels like you can't trust your own mind. You don't want it to be true. And then the overwhelming guilt crushes in and makes you believe, well, of course, in some way you must be responsible, because why would this person have done it otherwise if you weren't willing? It has to be misunderstanding. And on top of that, if someone has been manipulated or gaslit, which if that person is evil enough to grape, you can bet they're not adverse to some cheeky psychological manipulation. And that's why it takes people so long to come to terms with something like that. Would it be better if women and men and people immediately reported all assaults to the police? Of course it would be. Should they acknowledge it's harder to get justice if they don't because there's a lack of evidence if they wait too long? Yes, that's just reality, because we can't lock someone up on a he said, she said, because obviously that system could be taken advantage of. However, if they don't report an assault, does that make them a dumb hoe who must be lying? Because if it was real, of course she would immediately go to the police. Who would be stupid enough to not to report an assault if it really happened? Lots of people.
I don't know why people don't understand this. That just because you're being abused doesn't mean, like, there's more psychological thing going on. Why do people just think that it's so easy to leave? I would like to know what it's like to be in their heads when they think that. You know, that'd be really interesting.
A mental assault as much as a physical one. Some people seem to not understand that, and the lack of compassion is quite revolting. So do I personally believe this girl? I don't know. I don't know. But if I had to give my opinion, it doesn't sound unlikely. I didn't disbelieve it because of anything she said in the story. Like, it could be made up, but I didn't not believe it immediately. The way she described what happened honestly doesn't sound too far from what I can imagine Tate doing. The language she described him using, it just didn't sound out of character. Down to acting like nothing had happened afterwards. Of course, someone switching to totally nice again would confuse her. That's how people abuse people in relationships, by switching from violent to sweet. It's supposed to keep you confused. And also, look, here's the other thing. I really wouldn't be surprised if it had happened and Tate himself didn't consider it grape. Like seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if he only thought of grape as something that happens from a stranger in a dark alley. He has said in the past, a girl.
He may just believe that when I'm having sex with someone, they want it because I'm just that awesome.
Relationship shouldn't say no and should sleep with her man whenever said man requires, because, oh yes, women are property. We're back there again. He's not making it easy for me to have faith in his innocence. I'll say that. But then, yes, she could be lying. Of course, that's a possibility. We don't know, is the thing. But I'm just disgusted by people saying it must be a lie because anyone who's really been abused doesn't stay with their abuser. You're so ignorant. So yeah, look, I bring this up though not to argue for Tate being innocent or Tate being guilty. We don't know. I bring this up because a large number of people have shown themselves to be remarkably lacking in integrity. Nobody knows 100% either way. And the thing is, all those people who are going crazy about everyone blindly condemning Andrew Tate with little or no evidence, a lot of them are now the same people who are blindly defending him with little or no evidence, and actually even with some evidence to suggest the opposite. And doing that is equally as bad and stupid and reprehensible and coming from a position based in ideology over truth as the people who are blindly condemning him were. You are basing everything off what you want to be true, blinding yourself to anything which contradicts this because it is uncomfortable. And whether Tate is innocent...
It may not be related, but I thought of it. That's why I don't think, it's all funny, kill pedophiles. That's the thing. But I think killing people makes it easier to kill other people. Killing, it justifies more killing. And I think even though maybe send them to an island, where we don't have to pay for them to live, or make an island where or something like that, I personally think killing can justify more killing and makes it easier to kill the next one and the next one, and there must be a better way.
Innocent or he is
Tell
guilty.
me what you think in the comments.
A blind defense is absolutely unacceptable because at this point, you do not know. You do not know. And if you are wrong, that means you are defending and covering for horrific crimes, and the responsibility for that falls at your door. You have no fucking idea what you were talking about, and you don't actually know if he is innocent. The level of blind faith and lack of critical thinking is shocking. You're happy to so confidently cover for someone that you don't know, based on zero evidence, just because you think they didn't do it. Escape the Matrix and thinking for yourselves, have you? The levels of dick sucking for him is truly embarrassing. The follow-up video to this, where I talk about another content creator, that's mainly where I'll...
That's probably part of the reason why he was okay to admit to a bunch of shit on camera, because so many people were just deep throating his dick. He thought he was on top of the world.
Be talking about
literally and figuratively, forced or not.
Blind defense coming from this individual, because fucking wound me up. But more so in that one. And now we come to Pearl and her ignorant, asinine views on sex trafficking, which was what prompted me to make this video.
Pearl doesn't...
I've not exactly been diplomatic here, have I? Yeah, as I've said, I don't like just pearly things. Her general attitude...
I'm gonna stop that here, because I don't want to cut halfway through the video, then pick up. And this is an important point, so I'm gonna stop this here. Like and subscribe and comment. Do all the YouTube stuff. Thank you. Bye. Ugh.